Hey, what's going on, folks? Another episode of Ryan Reviews Everything, and I'm talking about The Long Walk. This is turned into a movie which is directed by Francis Lawrence, and this was originally a novel by the legendary Stephen King, which was then adapted to a movie. For those who are unfamiliar with what The Long Walk is about, it is about a group of teenage boys who participate in this annual event called The Long Walk, and they must maintain a certain speed or get put down. And there's no finish line with this long walk. It's literally the last man or the last teenage boy standing wins. Simple as that. The stars in this movie is David Johnson. He goes by a character by the name of Grease, or I forget his first name, but his nickname was Grease. And our main character, our main protagonist, is played by Cooper Hoffman, and I'll put his name in the captions. But both were great actors in this. I feel like David Johnson really stood out a little more to me. And David Johnson has been in a lot of stuff. He's originally from the UK. I first took notice of David Johnson from the Alien Romulus movie, but he killed it in this as well. And similar to a lot of Stephen King books, this is kind of dark, very intense. But also like Stephen King's book, I find myself attached to a number of characters, not just the protagonist, but just a number of co-stars and side characters as well. And surprisingly enough, when watching this film, it actually caused me to shed a thug tear a couple times, matter of fact. And this also, when you see this movie, it gives you a Hunger Games type of feel, which you shouldn't be surprised because Francis Lawrence is known for the Hunger Games movies. So we're talking about highly talented directors and actors, and in this case, author from Stephen King's original idea. And yeah, I really enjoyed the pacing of this movie. It gets right into it, and this is not a spoiler review, but it gets right into it. I mean, there's no build up or backstory in the beginning of this, movie. The only spoiler I will give, it literally starts with our main character being driven to the Long Walk event by his mom, and then after that, we are taking off and we are learning about the characters as they engage in this walk. And that's how you, in my opinion, that's how you really get attached to other characters, outside of the protagonist. Is you just hear about their story and their inspiration on why they're doing the long walk. And also, similar to like the Hunger Games and why you may get a Hunger Games feel to it, a lot of these people are just struggling financially, and they just need to get out of this financial rut, similar to Squid Games in a way, in that sense, and Hunger Games for that matter. And things are they're just so strapped that they're willing to put their life on the line for it, even when it comes to an event that literally will only have one survivor, such as a long walk. So definitely an amazing movie. If you have the time, I would highly suggest you support this in the theater. And I think for a movie like this, if you read some of the Stephen King books and you're familiar with how some of the dialogue may go and so forth, it's like I'm watching this movie and I realize just by the dialogue in this movie, this definitely sounds like a Stephen King book, a Stephen King novel. I can't really put my finger on it. Like, it was almost like if you didn't even know Stephen King was the originator of this book, but if you're familiar with his previous stuff, just by hearing the dialogue, you could just tell, oh yeah, this sounds like some Stephen King shit. And another of many things that I enjoyed about this movie is you really have to have directors and writers who really know what they're doing to pull a movie like this off. This movie is heavy on the dialogue because there's not a lot of other locations for this movie except for them walking on this, long venture. So you're not gonna cut away to the mom and see what the mom is doing during this long walk event. You're not cutting away to other family members of these teenage participants to see what their family members are up to at the same time. You're not getting any real backstory of the general who is overseeing this long walk event. Like 90% of this is them engaging in this dangerous event where you get taken down if you slow your pace, and a lot of dialogue, and once again, that's how we really learn about our characters. And yeah, that's the only way I could put it. You cannot pull this off with too many directors, in my opinion. So if you've seen it, let me know what you thought. I really enjoyed this. I highly suggest anybody to go check this out on in theaters if you have the time. Peace.